Nothing, no money ever comes through 1 million cups. Yeah. Where did Greg go? Oh, he's sitting at the chair here with Robert. Robert and Becky at this table right there with the hat. He's wearing a hat. Okay, I usually give like a 2-minute warning, but I have no idea what time it is. I lost my Fitbit very many minutes ago. It's 9:01. At 1 million cups, I love starting at 9:01. It's fun. 901 million cups o'clock. So nationwide, we meet across the country at almost 200 locations now. So the idea is that at one time, again, 9 o'clock on Wednesday morning, across the country, we're sitting down. There's 1 million people sitting down to a free cup of coffee, listening to a local entrepreneur share their journey. As organizers, we help them get on the stage. We let them know what 1 million cups / the Coffin Foundation wants in that 6-minute journey, and then the 20 minutes of Q&A, what to prep for that. Then as an entrepreneur support group, so the organizers help get them on the stage. That's the support we give. And then once they're up here, the support comes from the community. So this is a group that's for the people, by the people. So just by being in the audience, you're supporting a local entrepreneur, whether you're an entrepreneur or not. So our people in the audience are entrepreneurs. They own, they work for someone else. They're nonprofits, all of that. So today we have a good mixture of that for our presenters too. So we have a standard day, but we have a nonprofit presenting, and we have an update presentation, which is slightly different from a normal presentation, although our members in the audience are different every single week. So sometimes as an update presenter, you kind of revert back to a standard presentation because no one in the audience heard your first presentation. So if you are an organizer, would you raise your hand for me, please? So if you have any questions, the three of us here, and Jenna was the one that greeted you at the front, and then there's there's 8 of us total. So if you have any fears about presenting, those are the people that you might want to chat with. We also have some alumni organizers in the audience. Would you gentlemen raise your hand? I just see 2 in here today. So these guys did, give them a hand. I think Robert served about 5 years as a volunteer, and Frank did over a year. So when you serve for, what do you say, 2? Was it 2, Frank? Was it 8.5? No. It was 3? Okay, yeah, time flies. It felt so quick. Thank you, Frank. Now I'll remember that next time. So yes, my name is Samantha. I'm the lead organizer for 1 Million Cups Colorado Springs. I do travel to other 1 Million Cups as well. So anytime I'm not in Colorado Springs on a Wednesday, I make sure that if the town that I'm in, if there's one there, that I'll go to that one because I know what time it meets, so I can pre-plan that. Personally, I'm a doTERRA wellness advocate, so that's how I serve the entrepreneur community, helping them have energy and good sleep quality through the products that I sell. And we get to jump right into, the most important thing. So actually, a special shout out today. So Greg is going to do the 30-second piece that our coffee sponsor gets today. So the coffee sponsor pays for the coffee. Today's June 1st. Last night, May. Okay, so May 31st, last night, I sent out the email. Who read the email? Anybody? Yay. We have about 700 followers in Colorado Springs, 1 Million Cups. And I get comments all the time that people read the emails. So emails do work. So at the end, I put, P.S. We do not have a June coffee sponsor. If you'd like to step into this role, we really need someone. So the Alzheimer's Association said, okay, we'll do it. And I was like, what? It was that easy? Yay. Because getting a coffee roaster is not always easy. It's very easy to be a coffee roaster. You get lots of perks for that. So one of those perks as a sponsor is you get 30 seconds on the mic. So Greg is speaking on behalf of them because he works with them in many realms. So I'll just let him have that 30 seconds.
Good morning, everyone. Happy June 1st today. So I am here in lieu of Charlotte Long from the Alzheimer's Association, and this is what she had for me to say. The Alzheimer's Association leads the way to end Alzheimer's and all other dementia by accelerating global research, driving risk reduction and early detection, and maximizing quality care and support. We would love for you to participate in the Alzheimer's Walk on October 1st at Memorial Park. You can visit our booth at the first Saturday's Cars and Coffee this Saturday. And I have a couple of things that they gave me. One of them is the Caregiver Series 2002. It's got 2022. It's got week 1, which starts June 30th, and it goes all the way up through August 4th. And it's about caregivers for Alzheimer's and the elderly. And a couple of business cards, and also some registrations for the Alzheimer's Walk, which if you aren't interested in walking or registering, you can also volunteer. Thank you.
Hey guys, my name is Kirsty. I'm owner of the Sleepy Turtle Coffee Co., a mobile coffee shop here in Colorado Springs and the surrounding regions. I do a lot of pop-ups, I do grand openings and the such, and I'm doing one this Saturday at Three Arrows Gallery. I'll be there from 10 to 1. Right on.
Hey everybody, my name is Judy. Ooh, we're on high today. I am the invitation behind the Next Us, which is where you're all at, so thanks for being here. The key is supporting entrepreneurs, so this is one of our favorite things. And I'm just going to talk about kind of the key word behind the Next Us, and it's a word I might have made up, but it's called co-op autonomy. And it's the idea that we're all working on our own paths, on our own dreams, running our own businesses, but we have each other's back.
All right, before I introduce our first presenter today, I want to let you know a piece of our format. So the 6-minute entrepreneur journey is kept to 6 minutes. If we can tell you're wrapping it up, we'll let you go to like 6 minutes and 15 seconds. But part of the fun that we get to have as an audience is once you hear, so today I'll be the timekeeper unless Flip already had it under control. So at that 6-minute mark, if they keep going on, we interrupt with applause. So it could be rude if it's presented that way, but this crowd is not a rude crowd, so it's kind of fun if they get interrupted. The reaction that they have. Let's see if we can keep everybody to that 6 minutes. So that's the fun that we get to have as an audience. So again, today we have a nonprofit presenter. So this company has been a part of Colorado Springs community for 52 years. It's called Silverkey, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with. So today, the Chief Strategy Officer is going to share with us what Silverkey does, and then we'll have our 20 minutes of Q&A. So everybody, please welcome Derek Wilson. I need my goodies.
Okay. Well, good morning. And I love to be interrupted by applause, so feel free. That's great. Frank, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so how many of you like and enjoy living? Good, good. I have been in crowds before where that's not always everyone. But so I asked that question because at Silverkey, one of the things we'd like to say is that aging is all of us, and aging is synonymous with living, right? So for more than 50 years, we've been serving the Pikes Peak region as a local nonprofit. We're only here in the Pikes Peak region, so we're not all over the country. We're right here, formed and found, and I'll get to that. We're committed to making this the best community in the nation to age. And we do that by preserving the dignity and independence of older adults, allowing them the choice to safely and healthy age as they choose. We do that and achieve that through 4 essential pillars of service. Our reserve and ride transportation service, so it's getting rides to essential medical appointments, making sure that folks can, get to food, to the grocery store, things like that. We are the local provider of Meals on Wheels and our home delivered meal service. That's our nutrition program, that food is medicine. That it's very important that if folks don't get the right and proper nutrition, those things get out of balance. Real quickly, other things start to happen in terms of their overall health. We have a wide spectrum of senior health and wellness services, everything from guardianship wards of the state, all the way to I have a question, need, or concern for myself or a loved one. Can you help me with that? The answer is yes, we can, either directly or indirectly by referring folks out. And then lastly, our kind of a newest pillar of service is around affordable senior housing. So since the mid-'80s, we've had a property off of North Hancock, and it's near Patty Jewett It was called the Senior Heritage Apartments, recently rebranded under the Silverkey Apartments at North Hancock. And we just received word about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, that we were approved for the 9% low-income housing tax credit through CHAFA. That's exciting news for us. Yay, yeah, that's exciting news for the community. 50-unit senior affordable housing that'll be built adjacent to our main campus at 1625 South Murray Boulevard. So we're really excited for what that means. 13 of those units will be VA VASH vouchers. So those are for the highest level of need care of those that are veterans that are trying to avoid homelessness or have been homeless, have a lot of mental health needs and trauma-informed care. We're going to have 13 units dedicated just for that as well. So that's a big part of what we do. I can't wait till we get to the question and answer part, because otherwise I get to tell you what I think is important. That's kind of an overview of what we do. How do we make it happen? And how did our journey begin? That's one of the things I heard that you guys like to know about. So a lot of folks like to find out, how did we come up with this name Silverkey? So Betsy Myers Burrow, about 57 years ago, 1970, she was distraught about the condition of seniors in this community. Okay, think back 1970. And she went to bed one night not feeling real good about the condition of seniors. She had a dream. And in that dream, she saw the city of Colorado Springs, and storm clouds rolled in, and she looked up, and in those clouds she saw a door appear and a silver lining in the clouds. Well, amongst that, a key was floating, and that key would open the door to unlock to help seniors. She woke up the next day, and together with a group of concerned citizens said, we've got to do something. I know what we need to do, and the name's going to be Silverkey. Literally, that's how they came up with the name. So it kind of gives me goosebumps to this day to think about how that was formed and how that came to be. Yeah, it's a cool story. So with that, steadily over the decades, we added to our services. A lot of it initially was around those in nursing homes, that type of thing. But of course, as our whole history has changed in the way that people age and live and technology and all those types of things, we expanded services to include a lot more. A lot of that became about aging in place. That's kind of a fancy way to say that people get to age as they choose. You're not just getting to a certain point of age and you're, we'll say, put to pasture. Here's where you go. Because people are living longer, typically better, and we want to make sure that they have the means to have the highest quality of life, not just a quantity of life. And that's what Silverkey is all about. We have some of the services that have been added over time. One is our companionship services. This is where folks can be a volunteer companion to go into the homes of seniors. They can get this 1 day a week, or they can get this 7 days a week, and they are a companion with them. They do light housekeeping, errands, they just communicate. Social isolation is one of the biggest things that really kills and rots the soul, and we want to make sure that folks aren't continue to struggle with that social isolation. So that's a big part of what we do. We have a thrift store at 1605 South Murray on our campus there, and that's a big part too. You can donate, shop, and repeat that process at our friend's thrift store, and in doing so, 100% of proceeds go back to serving what we do. In the little bit of time I have left in this first 6 minutes or so, I would just say that one of the big things that's changed is that we are still a nonprofit, period, hard stop. We still help all those that are the most disadvantaged, without resource or resource deprived, hard stop. But one of the things we've also had to do is become very sustainable in our thinking, and with that we've also pushed into the world of private pay and insurance billing and Medicaid and Medicare billing. One is that it opens up so that the myth of the past was Silverkey's great, but that's only for those very, very poor, decrepit, they're fragile, frail, and we still help people that are in those conditions, and we see a lot of them. And then at the same time, if you have means, we're here for all seniors across all neighborhoods, okay? And so we can help folks in that way. So I think my first 6 minutes is done, but I look forward to answering your questions.
We're being courteous for our online watchers. So we, on average, have 10 or so people watching online, and they've definitely let us know that they can't hear the questions, and it takes away from the speaker to repeat the question. So we've got the mic. We used to do this at the warehouse. So if you have a question, Jenna's keeping out and trying to keep a line to make sure that questions can be asked and the people online can hear what we're asking. So Jenna will give the mic to whoever.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So I know that you've done the stuff with the seniors, but you've also started to look at other services. Can you talk a little bit more about why that is, that you're looking at being this resource center for Colorado Springs, not just for seniors? Does that question make sense?
I think so. If I don't answer it, let me know. I can clarify it. So the aging is all of us is our tagline. The thing is we wanted folks to not think, oh, I don't need to talk, worry, think about seniors or being a senior, et cetera, until I'm in my 60s or 70s, something like that. What we want folks to know, I will say that the Older Americans Act does define senior as 60 plus. So that is how the funding comes about. So 60's the new 40, absolutely. But what we know is that, I feel like this thing went off, but maybe not. Maybe you just dialed it down. So the thing is that when it comes to folks thinking about issues around aging, you're either in that space, headed towards that space, or you have a friend or loved one that's in that space. That's one. Two, the thing is when folks think about how they can get involved and do something about this universal issue, which again, irrespective of every other protected class, right? Your gender, your color, who you love, where you worship, aging is the one thing that unites us. It's the one thing that every single person in this room, if you're living, we established that at the beginning, you're going to be impacted by this, right? So we want folks to know if you want to help this cause in a certain way, well, you can purchase our home delivered meals, right? It's $9.75 for a delivered meal, hot, delicious, nutritious meal, conveniently offered to your home, and you're eating good while doing good, right? So that's an option that folks can do. If they are a caregiver for somebody, then they can come and take part in our behavioral mental health services and get tips and tricks around that. Alzheimer's Association is a great partner with us, and they do dementia care and trainings and things around that. So I was looking for him. Where did he go here? But earlier when he spoke, there you are, right there. Duh. So I'm looking this way. He's over here. And so with that said, that's an opportunity, for folks that of any age to come help and be involved. Volunteering. I can touch a lot more on that, but basically our volunteers is the heartbeat of what we do. We have over 400 active volunteers. We cannot do what we do, and I could tell you all the numbers and everything, but we couldn't do that without volunteers. They exponentially enhance and expand all of those things. So that's another way people are involved in giving back and doing. So those are just some of the ways that other ages can be involved and make an impact as well. In the back, Mr. Frank Sinclair.
I guess it was working? Oh, okay. I guess I'm in this space, so it's really important to me. You can tell I'm in this space because I just forgot my question. So, oh. Well, thank you. You have some flyers on our desk today, Derek,
yeah.
And help us understand Summit, Senior Summit, what the value that it's bringing to our community, and why you think it's so important that you put so many flyers on our desk.
Yes. So I, Moonlight for Dunder Mifflin. No, I'm kidding. That's a paper joke. If you guys get the office. Okay. Thank you. All right. So I tried. It's a dad joke. All right. So here's the thing. So our Senior Summit, we are in partnership with the Pikes Peak Senior News with this effort. We are so excited about our Senior Summit. Every year we do some sort of fundraising event to help support our mission. It's what fuels and funds us, and the generosity of others keeps us going. Since I've been at Silverkey for 4 years, we've done something different every year because there's a little thing that happened you guys might remember. It was called COVID. And with COVID, we had this gap in there. So I showed up and they did something called Rock in the 60s. Then we had a luncheon, then we had nothing. Then we had our big gala, our 50th anniversary celebration, which was 1 year delayed because of COVID. And what happened was that been thinking about a way that we could do something a little bit different, add a little more value. One of our great partners in a way that folks can get involved thinking about entrepreneurs is sponsorship. And we have some awesome sponsors. Most nonprofits have sponsors, but one of the things that I think that makes us really different and unique is we see it as a true partnership, that we work together. We come together. If you check out our website, we have this great visual of the intersect between those two worlds, because there is a symbiosis, a symbiotic nature that goes on there. in terms of their declaration of quality, safe, healthy aging, as well as that investment into our mission. Why? Because, again, it's something that impacts all of us. The community makes the community better to have these types of supportive services in our community. And so there was a need. There was a need because there hadn't been anything going on for almost 2 years, particularly in the senior space, right? Because seniors were disproportionately affected by COVID. And so I'd been thinking about this, and actually yourself, Frank, and Ann with the Pikes Peak Senior News, and a few others, we kind of came together, and lo and behold, we were kind of all dabbling with the same idea about what about like an expo? And I said, an expo's good, but we need to have a summit experience, right? Play on words with the Pikes Peak region, all that kind of good stuff. So that's how we formed this. So we're starting the day with the benefit breakfast. That's an invitation, table captain model benefit breakfast, more traditional in that sense. When we're done with that, that's 8:30 to 9:30, we're going to transition to our expo, which will be an expo information sessions, which really is the who's who in this world of aging that are speakers and things. I mean, there's some big time people going to be there. We have a former Olympian, also a stage 3 breast cancer survivor is going to be a speaker. We have Janine Vandenberg, talks about DEI and ageism. She's really big in that world. We have folks from UCCS that'll be talking. We have a big mental health panel, things with housing, all these speakers that'll be at the info session. Health screening, so if you want to get your blood pressure checked, some balance checks, hearing checks, things like this. We're going to have somewhere between 10 and 15 health screenings. We got a few people saying, I don't know what they're going to do. But we're hoping for a lot of health screenings as well that'll be there as part of that. And then we're going to cap off the day through a special invite, particularly to our sponsors and dignitaries in the community that'll be a part of that with an Impact Happy Hour. So it's a full day activity to support aging in the region. It's really the don't miss event of 2022. And again, because you are either there, headed there, or have someone you love or know that's in that space. And it's a resource fair of all types for folks to get involved and be a part of that. So I can answer so many more things about the summit. There's going to be over 70 plus vendors in attendance. There's going to be a lot of fun folks there as well. I call them fun because, besides, all the insurance companies and home health, those are great, very important. But we're going to have folks talking about holistic health and, herbalist, hopefully. And we're going to have, actually, Samantha will be there talking about oils, essential oils, that type of thing. And we're going to have a lot of different folks there of a different variety and type. So complimentary admission to come. Complimentary parking at the Antlers Hotel downtown on Wednesday, June 15th. That's all on the flyer there. So I hope that you will attend, number one. If you say, I can't make it, I've got X, Y, and Z, we understand. Send somebody in your place. Send somebody in your place. Help us further our mission by telling others about it. That's another big thing that folks here can do. So come yourself, bring a friend. If you can't be there, tell your friend to come anyway. If you have no friends, I understand, but that's okay. Tell other people on social media and on your business website, that type of thing. So, other questions?
It's tough, huh, Bob? Hey, give us some statistics about our region. When it comes to people over 60, what's the number of people over 60? How many people are aging in the next couple of years that we see? And I think it'll create some context around senior care, senior issues, and why they're so important.
This is a really good question. So not too long ago, maybe less than a month ago, El Pomar had a presentation about our growing, expanding community. The state demographer was there, and they had a bunch of other speakers and things. One of the things that was really interesting that emerged from that is that, to Frank's point, over 13% of El Paso County right now is 60 plus, and it's growing at double the national average. Our average age, median age, I should say, the median age, I'm not a math guy, but the median age is 32 in this community right now, 32. And aging. It's scheduled to be, I think the year was 2040 that she used, to be 44 as the average age. Okay? This is an aging and growing community. Not because we're getting rid of young people or something, but the birth rate, right, is not as high as it used to be. So we're not having as many young people come behind, and we have other large generations that are aging. So we got the boomers right now, X is a smaller generation, and then finally millennials. It's crazy to think that those millennials, right, they're all starting now to move towards that. And by 2040, they're going to start pushing into that. Again, you have to do the math. But we are aging. And if you think about those over 85, it's going to be a 300% increase. 300% increase. With that comes unique needs, obstacles, challenges, and you have to have an organization that's there to help mitigate those things and to remove those obstacles, be an advocate, be a thought leader, and provide, basic services that are there. A lot of communities, government does it. But in this community, nonprofits, and this has been the case for Colorado Springs, the Pikes Peak region for a long time, we fill that void. We believe we do it better than government, right? It's not nobody works for the DMV or the post office right now. But you know what I'm saying. You get it. I mean, there's a lot of head nodding. It's not to put down any of those things, but we think because we care for folks like family, we say that through our companionship services. Our folks, particularly our volunteers, they're not doing it for a paycheck. They say about volunteers, they don't have an abundance of time, but an abundance of heart. And it's that heart energy that they put into what they do each and every day. And many of them, we have one gentleman that's in our reserve and our transportation area. He gets 40 hours a week, and he's done it for like 20 years. He retired and just started doing 40 hours a week of volunteer service to the point where we're like, I don't know what we do if this guy ever does retire from being a volunteer. It truly is. We have a person on our Silver Line. She's a staff member, but 26 years she's been on our Silver Line taking those phone calls. So in terms of stats, what I can tell you is the number is large. It's getting larger. If you're not thinking about this as a demographic, as a market, as entrepreneurs and businesses, you need to. You need to in a lot of different ways to be thinking about what does it look like to have and cater to the needs of seniors, because there's a lot of wealth that's being transferred and will be transferred. That's a big part. If you're business people, talking dollars, and that's important. As humans, I'm talking to you about something that affects you and those that you love. So I hope that you'll think about being a part of our mission.
What do you guys think of cultural differences, right? Because the Asian cultures, being older is seen as seniority, as something that you embrace, where our culture, individualist, we kind of push them off to the side and say, get out of the way. So are there any concepts that you are trying to take from those cultures that are more inclusive to age?
Absolutely, and a great thing, and we'd like to do more with this. Resources are always against this, time, people, and money. It's a challenge. Also, the community makeup is what it is. People understand that. At the same time, the population we serve at the highest level, second, is the Spanish-speaking community, and the third is Korean-speaking. So we definitely see that. We see it in a few different ways when it comes to, for example, on the nutrition side, food. There's unique things that they prefer, don't eat, do like to eat. One of our connection cafes, I didn't mention that, but is at Temple Shalom. And so there's unique things within that community as well. So those are all aspects that we try to think about with that. When it comes to kind of healthcare related, because we do see ourselves as that human service healthcare intersect, we play a big part with that. And mental health services, there's stigmas. There's stigmas in general. That's a problem. There's stigmas more so the older that you are and generationally, those folks didn't grow up going through, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay, that's not what happened. Then you add on the cultural pieces that you're talking about to that, and it becomes even more so, more prominent that's something to get through. For some, it's that they don't see, trying to word this carefully. The gentlemen don't want their ladies to be with them in the care or to recognize that need it, where the ladies are saying he needs help. Okay, I don't know how else to say that, but that's kind of what happens a lot, where the mom or the grandma or the daughter reaches out for some sort of help. Dad, grandpa, son doesn't see it, doesn't acknowledge it, that type of thing. So there's dynamics that play in that. Another big culture I would mention here in this community is more than 100,000 veterans. And we have a VETS program, our Veteran Engagement Together Support. We were a senior demonstration program with the VA. They came to us about 3 years ago and said, we want Silverkey to be one of 5 communities in the nation to launch this program, and we did. And we've been in great partnership with Mount Carmel and others around this. And this is all about getting them that companionship. It's kind of sister program is our Reassurance Plus. The difference there is that cultural responsiveness to the uniqueness of the experiences, oftentimes the traumas that came as part of being in the military. We try to, whenever possible, pair a former military or military spouse. Sometimes we've also seen the military brats, as they call themselves affectionately, where they weren't in, but they lived that life and now want to give back to other veterans. So that's another part of that. So great question. We always look to do more with the DEI area, but it is a challenge just because of limited resource of people wanting to step up. I'll add one more. So we have something called 5 Wishes, which is advanced care planning. We are, again, a national role model for that. They're a national nonprofit. We are the first 5 Wishes informed designated organization in the country. I think we're one of the only ones that have a truck that say 5 Wishes on it too. So it's really cool with that. They did a whole video series on us. We were really proud. One of the things we did with that is we also made sure we had Spanish speaking and bilingual versions of those documents made available too to help serve that population. So good question.
So as people get older and they're doing, there's a lot of things that have to be planned for. What are like the top 3 things that people just universal? I didn't think of that.
Top 3 things. I would love to chat with my director of health and wellness to kind of find their perspective. I will give you my vantage point. So it's one vantage point. Other people in the organization might answer a little bit different. I have got about how long? 3 minutes? Okay. So I think the first thing is the acknowledgement that folks, at some point, if you live long enough, you're probably going to need some form of help. Again, there's always that, well, they're 95 and still doing push-ups, and cool. That's an exception at that point. Typically what we see is the go-goes, the slow-goes, and the no-goes. And there's not necessarily an age of that, but that's really the truth. You know, we have our average age volunteer is 67 years old. But there's a time when that transitions over and that age becomes about 74, when all of a sudden they got to maybe give up the keys, or they're going to colonoscopies and need a ride back from that appointment, right? They don't want to cook or can't really cook for themselves anymore, whatever the case might be. So I think it's that acknowledgement that at some point you live long enough, or your loved one does, whatever, you're probably going to need some sort of help. That's a hard thing because of that, the pride, whatever, that we all have with that. So that's an issue. The second thing would be the advanced care planning. I forgot the exact stat in this community, but nationwide, less than half of Americans have some sort of advanced care plan. And if you add legacy giving to that, and by legacy, I'm talking about what do you want to do with your stuff, it gets even worse. So less than half, the amount of time, money, and heartache that causes the families is astronomical. I'm talking billions of dollars, millions, whatever the hours are within the court time, and then families torn apart. You'd say, well, we hear this a lot. I don't have a lot. Throw me in the backyard, all this kind of stuff, right? I mean, literally, people say this stuff. The fact is that what you think is like everyone's going to be in agreement, they're not. This was grandma's, this was his special cup, and I want it, and you don't get it. And suddenly families are torn apart, not over the material value, but the sentimental value. What did mom want? What did grandpa want? They want, she wouldn't be caught dead in that dress. Well, she's dead and she's in that dress. Those types of things. So I think filling out those types of things, making your wishes known outside of that time of turmoil and stress is super important, both with your stuff. What do you want your legacy to be? And at the same time, do you want to be resuscitated? What kind of care management do you want to have, and all that type of thing? So that's the second one. I got to think of a third one really fast.
That's okay, actually.
And I'm cut off.
Yeah, we're out of time on that one. But actually, this is a great opportunity for me to also do a little bit of the educational piece, because I was Derek's assigned organizer, and I don't think I did as well of a job preparing him for this final question. So just so that you guys know, nationwide, our special question is, what can we, I'm going to let him ask it, but our special question is not meant to be buy my stuff or like my social media. It's meant to be what the organization or the person is struggling with and what we can help them long term with. So I won't ask the question. There's someone assigned to that. So he's a first timer. If you're a first timer today, would you raise your hand?
Hi there. What can we, as a Colorado business community, do to help you?
Yeah. Great question. I actually love this question. Coming from fundraising, this is an easy one, but I'm going to try to elaborate on it just a bit. The first thing is to donate or sponsor. it really is. We don't run on hugs and kisses or pats on the back. It takes dollars and cents to make these things happen. And I know that there's a saying about broken for good. We refuse to be broken for good. Our clients and services have great value, and they require adequate resource in order to thrive. And we want to have the highest quality of compassionate care for individuals, so it does take dollars and cents to make that happen. And while I mentioned all those sustainable things with insurance billing and Medicaid and Medicare and stuff, it's only a drop in the bucket to compare to what people do with their donation dollars. 85 cents of every dollar goes directly to helping clients, which is way high for the industry standard. 70 cents and above is usually considered good, so we're really proud of that. Secondly, is to donate, shop, repeat at our friend's thrift store. If you have those unused items, there's a lot of thrift stores in town. Again, 100% of proceeds go to helping those in need. Also, if we have somebody comes in through case management, needs help, instead of just saying, well, here's some shoes or something like that, we can let them shop, dignity of shopping for those items there, or go to our pantry. You know, we're in partnership with Care and Share for that. 1,500 people a month coming through our pantry and growing every month. Okay, it's the largest food pantry in Southern Colorado. The third thing, become a VIP or a Volunteer Impact Program volunteer. Yes, that's a play on words in particular. I've really stressed our volunteers. It is so important. There's so many ways you can get involved and do something. If you don't want to have to, connect with people directly, we get that. You can put cans in boxes at the pantry. You can, drive a shuttle. You can help package the food and stuff before it ever goes out. Meals on Wheels, we need drivers desperately right now for that. And the fourth thing is use your voice. It's the most inexpensive thing you can do. Like, share, and follow us on all our social media platforms. It's a way for us to get our timely, important message out, cost effective. And it only works in today's sort of like pay for clicks type world. It used to be an algorithm like get this many things and it'll go. Now we rely on everybody looking us up, consciously liking, making sure you do those things often enough so it keeps coming up on your feed, and then make sure it goes out onto other people's feeds. We cannot do what we do if they are the least lonely and forgotten. And you don't want that to be you or your loved one. And in far too many cases, people don't know that that's going on. Oh, mom says she's fine. I checked in with her the other day. Well, come to find out, she's not doing so fine. And this is the story after story after story that we see all the time. And they're really tragic oftentimes. So think about those things that you can help and be a part of. We like to give back to our sponsors in so many ways. So there's kind of a return on investment, or I like to think of that social return on investment, that social impact that you can have. And so talk to me. I have to run to another meeting, but you can see Samantha. She knows a lot about us. Frank knows a lot about us. Robert knows a lot about us. So any of these folks can talk to you about what we do, but you can also see me. Come see me at our summit on Wednesday, June 15th at the Antlers Hotel downtown. I hope to see all of you there, and bring a friend.
For being here today, you get a mug.
Yes.
So there's
Yes.
coveted.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for being here. Typically, we would have community announcements at this point. We're going to skip those today so we can keep on track with our 9 o'clock start, and we'll end a little bit after 10 today. But I'll just, again, educate you that our community announcements are just a time where you come up and share an event that is either free or impactful for the entrepreneur community. So we try to remind people we don't need to know your name or what you do. It's not a time to do a sales pitch. It's just a time to share a community announcement. We do have 2 more sponsors. So Kevin, if you wanted to make your way up here, actually he's talking, so he probably didn't even hear me say that. But Kevin, you get your 30 seconds. And then while he's headed up here, I will just say I forgot to mention the SBDC and the BBB. If you don't bring your own mug, then you use the paper cups. So their logos are on there. They're providing those for us, so we don't have to, drink our coffee like this. And they are a part of the event next week. So this is a good time for me to remind everyone that next week is Small Business Week. We will not be here at the Next Us. We will not be from 9 to 10 o'clock. We will be at the City Auditorium from 11 to 1. You do have to register. There's only 150 spots available. This is open to the entire universe, so everyone can register. It's not just us. And very coolly enough, you're also going to get a free lunch. So I wasn't expecting that, but that's really nice. So the Pikes Peak Region Small Business Group is providing free lunches, but you do have to register so that you can get that. I got a few extra tickets, so if it comes next week and you forgot, but I have been sending out emails, so check your email. Okay, Kevin, go ahead.
Hello everyone, my name is Kevin Fedde. My company is Fedde Studios. I do video, photography, live stream, drone stuff. And yeah, that's just kind of what I like. I've been doing it for a while. I've had my own business now, not working for other people. I've had my own business for 7 or 8 months, so liking making my own decisions. And you know, if you need help with any of that stuff, let me know. Also, hopefully the other microphone is fixed now. It was being the problem child. This one's great, but I changed the channel on that, and hopefully it does good. So thank you.